Hey Cinders, and welcome back to Chicken Cindy's. If you are potentially a new mountain biker and or someone looking for their very first full suspension and kind of on a budget, this is definitely a video that you will want to watch. I was on Facebook and a bud of mine posted a picture of the new Polygon Siskui D7. I thought it was a pretty sharp looking bike, so I decided to go to Bikes Online and kind of check it out. And I was very impressed and surprised with what I saw. So I wanted to share with you guys just over this build and my thoughts and why I would actually really recommend you buying this bike. So here in the corner, I'm gonna put the mirroring of my iPad so we can kind of scroll through this together. But as you can see, I'm just on Bikes Online. But right now it's on sale for $1,300. And they have some different sales going on right now. And I'm not 100% sure how long this sale will last, but we shall see. But if you come back on this and it's actually back up to $1,600, sorry, you missed out on the $300 deal. So right now, when I look at this bike just in the picture, I see a lot of really, really good things. I see an air fork. I see a dropper post, which makes me very excited. I see a rear suspension that looks like it has lockout and potentially some rebound adjustment, which we'll get into the details here in a minute. And I really like the look of this bike. And then I see the price at $1,300, and I see the price at $1,300 with a dropper post and an air fork. And I'm just kind of like, all right. And then I'm looking at the drivetrain and I see, looks like Shimano Deore from what I could tell in the picture. I'm like, this bike's looking really good, especially at $1,300. So let's go down a little bit and get into some more of the details over this bike, okay? So we just kind of look at this first picture. 120 millimeter, it looks like, fork up front. Okay, probably more cross-country oriented, maybe lower end of the trail spectrum. All right. RockShox Deluxe Select Plus, pretty nice rear shock. Dropper seat post. Read these numbers. Look at these numbers. 150 dropper for small to medium, 170 for large to extra large. That's awesome. A 150 and a 170, depending on what size you get. Shimano Deore 1x11 speed. Terrific drivetrain. Holy cow. Very nice. Shimano BR M201s. We got hydraulic brakes, fully hydraulic brakes. Okay, all right, I'm digging it, Updated color and fork. I really like this gray, white, and orange. I didn't know what I'd think about the orange originally, but it looks pretty sharp. It looks like it's all internal cable routing from what I can tell in the picture. All right, modern geometry. I typically don't talk about geometry on this channel, so we'll probably dive into that a little bit this time because I've had people just kind of recommend that I do that, and you know, so it'll be interesting to kind of discuss over my feelings on geometry and kind of just give you my take on it. So Outdoor Gear Lab, you can read a little bit of things like that. So let me keep going down a little bit because I want to get to the actual, just the different specifications over what's going on. So this is pretty interesting to look at, just the different variations and whatnot. And at this price point, I'd really recommend not doing the D5 or 6 and just going straight for the D7. Personal opinion on that, and we can talk a little bit more about why. So let me open up the components real quick. All right, so let's dig into this, okay? Because there's some really cool things that I've not mentioned yet that I really like. So, aluminum frame, cool, nice. And then just read it. 120 millimeter travel, internal routed gear, dropper cables, tapered head tube, terrific tapered head tube, 73 millimeter threaded boost bottom bracket. So if you're looking to upgrade your crankset for some reason, keep in mind it's boost. 148 by 12 millimeter boost through axle. The rear is a through axle. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I understand at $1,600, that is an expectation to me, in my opinion, for a frame to have a through axle. At $1,300, the last bike I did a review or like a video like this on was around this price, was a hardtail, not nearly this nice of a build, and it was a quick release in the rear. So 148/12 boost through axle, holy cow. At $1,300 for a full suspension, with a dropper post. What a time to be a mountain biker. Holy cow, I love it. Fork, Suntour Radon 32 Boost. I love the fact that this fork is now the black, all black, and it doesn't have the silver stanchions. The silver stanchions sometimes get really nasty looking, just from my experience with my friends and whatnot who have them. So, all right, this is important. Let's read this. RockShox Deluxe Select Plus Debonair Rebound and Compression Adjuster. A lot of times at this price point, the rear shock has really no form of adjustment. It's literally you put air in it and you hope for the best. Being able to have that adjustability, and that's a nice rear shock. Like, it's a good sized, so that's really nice. Again, the Entity stuff, which from what I've gathered now is actually like Polygon's in-home brand, kind of like Bontrager with Trek. So you're gonna get nice stuff. That's things that you'll probably upgrade to your own, things that you like between the handlebar size, stem length, and things like that. So I never like judge a bike too heavily on like the parts they come with in the sense of pedals, stems, grips, and that kind of stuff, because that's preference as it is. Contact points are very important, and you're gonna pick and choose what you want. So, but 45mm stem, great. Threadless zero stack headset, I love zero stack. Basically what a zero stack means is the top headset is as flush as it can be, so you can pretty much slam your stem if you want to, which is pretty cool. So, saddle, the Entity Void. I'm not sure which saddle was on the Xstrata that I rode, but I liked that saddle. It was a very nice saddle. Seat post, Trans X dropper post. Trans X droppers are typically more budget-friendly droppers, but they work terrific. In my experience, a lot of times the remote lever that comes with the Trans X leaves a little bit to be desired. I would tell you I would recommend to upgrade to like a P&W Loam dropper lever or something. I'll put a picture of it right here. So it's like $60 or $70 if I recall. A lot of times you can find them on sale. Lifetime warranty. Bearing for the actual bearing inside for the actuation, very smooth, nice grippy pad on it as well. So absolutely terrific, and not too bad, not too much of an upgrade. But a lot of times, yeah, the Trans X levers they're just cable actuated, and they're just kind of like a pivot almost. But they work, so you can't really complain too much. Crankset, Shimano Deors. I love Deor. I think Deor is such a nice bang for buck setup. Chain, KMC. We talked about the bottom bracket. 11 to 51 cassette, 11 speed, 11 as your lowest, 51 as your top. You will be Spider-Man climbing mountains with a 51 tooth. You will be fine. 51 is absolutely fine. It's a dinner plate. 11, that's fine too. Some go down to 9 or 10. 11, I don't think you'll notice too much of a difference on like the sprints, but you should be okay with that. So Shimano, of course, 11 speed trigger. Brake system, M201 hydraulics. The calipers themselves will be absolutely terrific. You may notice in the long run with the actual levers that you may want to upgrade those to something with a little bit more adjustability, which you can actually just grab the Shimano lever, buy the lever separate, and then just put them on and do a little bit of a bleed if you need to and equip the other cables. But the calipers themselves should be fine for what this bike was intended for, which is going to be more cross-country, lower trail oriented. So, tire, Schwalbe's, nice tires there. I believe, yeah, right here we go. Tubeless ready rims. Great. Front hub, you got Shimano front hub, 15 by 110. This sucker is boost front and back, through axle front and back, with, air fork. That's awesome. Tubeless ready. I'm really finding like nothing to complain about on this build. And we just go into valve types and stuff like that. Let's go back up to the top of this. I don't know. Or for me, iPad, there we go. I don't know 100% what's going on in the sense of what Polygon's doing with their bikes and builds. If I was in the market for a full suspension bike, I would buy this bike. I would 100% buy this bike and ride the crap out of it. What a nice cross-country style bike. There is, at $1,300, what a terrific deal. I would grab a large, get that 170 dropper post. Man, that's interesting. The tires say Schwalbe, but in the picture they have Maxxis. Huh, let me go back. I just noticed something. Polygon, do something about your pictures potentially. So what's it say down here? Where's the tire? Here we go. Yeah, it says it comes with knobby nicks. Interesting. Hey, one of you guys that are at Polygon and are watching this potentially, put in the comments what you get. Do you get Maxis or do you get Schwalbe's? That'd be good to know. All right, one little mix-up potentially. All right, let's wrap this video up. We talked about the bike. I gave you my impression of the bike. If you are a beginner or on a budget and looking for just a really nice full suspension that will set you up for a bit. Oh, you know what? I lied to you. Oh my goodness. Let's talk geometry. So the ones I care about is seat tube angle and the top tube, or the head tube angle. So head tube angle 67. That's honestly not bad for a cross-country styled bike. A lot of bikes that I typically ride hardtails are like 65, 64, so they're pretty aggressive. But for a cross-country styled bike and someone who's a beginner, 67 will be good. Seat tube angle, a lot of the ones that I typically climb on are around 70, so 68 for the seat tube angle. That's not bad at all. Effective is 76, so that's still not bad at all. I want to check out the chainstay. Chainstay 436 on large. That's not bad. That's a good chainstay length. It's not super long, it's not super short, again. And that's kind of where this bike's going to be, okay? 120 front and rear. So that you should be able to climb pretty good on that. So that shouldn't be too squishy in the sense of like, you know, like 160, 150 and trying to climb with it. So geometry looks spot on for a modern, as they state, modern geometry. So this is a bike that you'll buy and you could keep for 4 or 5 years and you'll be rock solid. For my very final thoughts on this bike, I know I mentioned it a couple times, but I just want to like reiterate. If you are looking for a budget full suspension, this bike's it. You can get the step up if you like those colors better and whatnot. For the price difference, you're gonna get slightly nicer components, a cooler paint scheme in my opinion, or paint color. But for the new to mountain biking, looking for a cross-country styled, not super crazy downhill, you know, riding around your typical trail system, this is it. Polygon, you guys absolutely just killed it on this bike. I am very impressed. And yeah, definitely buy this bike. No affiliation with Polygon at all. Just a dude who enjoys building budget bikes, enjoys riding bikes and has a really good time, and has a YouTube channel. Just kind of wanted to share my thoughts over this build. Man, if any of you guys have this bike, please put in the comments and let me know what you think about it. Unless I'm missing something here, but on paper, absolutely a home run. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, take care.